Up now for the small bows. This is the Hambleden Pairs Challenge Cup, the first day of racing in this event. This is for elite women's pairs. On the left-hand side of your picture, we've got Schanze and Pedersen of Denmark, and on the right-hand side of your picture, Perry and Standing of Leander Club.
So we get to see women's pairs today, and that's always exciting. Someone who rode in a pair, I didn't have the opportunity to race at Henley, so I'm always very envious, whilst appreciating it's probably one of the hardest boat classes because of the challenge of the water, but making it look easy there in the Leander crew, very well set up.
Yeah, this crew here coming past us live at the Forley box. This is Perry and Standing, a combination that will know each other from yonder years. Both of these athletes, members of their respective blue boats at Oxford University Women's Boat Club, and then have both progressed on to row at Leander Club here on the Thames stretch, their boathouse just past the finish of this regatta, and making a good start here in the first half of the course against another very experienced international pair. Tina Dahl-Pedersen in the stroke seat of this crew on the left here went to the Tokyo Olympic Games with Denmark as part of the women's form.
I mean, we have got four of some of the best rowers in the world, and you know, very much with Juliet Perry and Amelia Standing, we've got some future Olympians, I think, there. You know, they had a fantastic result at trials, both in the final. They won in the Coxless 4 at Duisburg. They won at Henley Royal Regatta before they came here. So, you know, they're just acquiring experience, and athletes like Juliet and Amelia, who we can see, beautiful shot there, you know, exactly that interdependence that you have in a pair, very well balancing each other out, making sure they mirror as each splits each way. Often rowing in a coxswain pair is, say, imagine you've got to have a balancing pole like you might have as a tightrope walker, but you've got half of the pole each, and so you have to work together. You know, if one of you has a strop, the other one can't get back on their own, so you are fully interdependent in a coxswain pair, and they're doing a lovely job there of balancing each other out. And here we have a look at Anna-Kalina Schanze and Trina Dahl-Pedersen, very experienced, but not looking as comfortable on the water, I would say, as Perry and Standing.
Well, you've got to remember, Leander Club out here, you know, they row on this water day in, day out. It can be very bubbly, it can be very bouncy, and that's something that, you know, the privilege for Schanze and Pedersen they would not have had as regularly as Leander here on the left. So it can be really difficult in a small boat. You've already mentioned how, you know, you've compared it to tightrope walking. Then you chuck in a load of waves and trying to put power down and thinking about steering. It's a real skill, and how difficult is it, Kat, to try and put your all into racing down the Henley course whilst having all those factors going on?
So it takes a lot of practice, doesn't it? And it's the trust you have as well, the ultimate trust you must have in a coxswain pair. You know, you cannot do anything without the other person matching and mirroring you, and so it's the communication, it's the application of the power that you've got, it's the timing, sensing and feeling all those things. I mean, the lovely thing about a pair is that if you make a decision to go, there's two of you, and you can get big changes in boat speed in this boat class. But I think at the moment, Juliet Perry and Amelia Standing are, you know, absolutely bossing this race and rowing beautifully, getting used to this water. Lots of these crews will come here specifically to test their skills. And, you know, Anna-Kalina Schanze and Trina Dahl-Pedersen will be learning some things about their technique, about some exercises that maybe will help them develop an even more stable base, that will help them to apply the power more effectively. You can just see there a little bit of rocking as they come into the front end. So just before the blades go into the water, there's some little rocks at the last minute, and that means you're potentially less accurate applying the power, and, you know, a little more tense because of the wobble. You're not quite sure where it's going. You maybe not coming in a straight line back then, and you're adjusting all the time, and if you're constantly adjusting, that gets harder. But I think they've definitely lifted the rate there to have a bit of a, can we challenge the Brits? Can we come back? What can we do? They need to start testing that now before they run out of course.
You talked about the sort of rockiness, and as the rating goes up, that sometimes can continue to get even more rocky because you're trying to, you know, as you say, go up through the ratings, put more strokes in per minute. You can just see the splash from the blades of the crew on the right, from the Danske Studenters Rock Club, and just a little bit more splashy putting the blades in the water as they sort of flop a little bit to either side.
They've managed to lift the rate. They have really had a go, but Perry and Standing had, you know, we're watching them and have got this one fully in control.
So led out by the under-23 world champion from the women's four back in 2021, Amelia Standing. it's going to be a win here, it looks like, for Leander Club. I know that lots of victories can be overturned, certainly in the small boats in the final 10 strokes, but it's not to be here for the Danske Studenters Row Club, who have travelled here from Denmark. And just a little bit of feedback there, actually, nice, between the two athletes, almost immediate, just to kind of gather what's gone on in that race.
You often have a very close relationship in a pair, and you know, they're coached by Ross Hunter. I think he'll be looking really, really pleased with that. You know, the technique's solid, the rhythm is solid, the confidence is solid, the composure is there, the power's there, and there's lots more that we've yet to see. And I think they'll be really happy with that race.